Okay, so picture this. Have you ever tried to combine, say, a first name, a last name, and a sales figure in Excel, completely expecting to get this beautiful automated sentence? I mean, we have literally all been there. You spend hours meticulously setting up your data, getting it just right, but the exact moment you try to link those cells together, boom, it's a complete mess. Your perfectly formatted dates and currencies suddenly turn into this unrecognizable string of raw numbers. The pain of doing manual data entry just to fix it is so real. And frankly, dealing with broken formatting is pretty much a spreadsheet nightmare. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unlocking a seriously cool magic trick, turning separate, boring, everyday cells into perfect, dynamic sentences. We're going to dive deep into a fundamental, yet incredibly powerful spreadsheet skill from our source material, joining text and numbers in Excel. By the end of our time together today, we'll know exactly how to combine data, add in perfect punctuation, and most importantly, preserve all that beautiful formatting you worked so hard on. All right, let's look at the game plan. We'll start with the magic of joining data, then look at ampersand versus concat, tackle the formatting problem, master the text function, and finally go over avoiding common mistakes. Let's get right into it. Starting with section 1, the magic of joining data, or as I actually prefer to think of it, gluing your cells together. This right here is your basic superpower for taking information that's scattered all over your sheet and bringing it neatly into a single readable line. So let's say we have the name Nancy sitting in cell A2 and Smith in cells B2. If we just push them together, we use the ampersand symbol. It acts as our primary, well, our glue. But if we write the formula as A2 ampersand B2, the result is Nancy Smith. It's just entirely jammed together with zero space. To fix this, we need to use quotation marks. You can think of quotation marks as little containers that give our text some breathing room. By typing A2, ampersand, a space inside quotation marks, ampersand B2, we are placing a literal space right between those names. And that gives us a perfectly formatted Nancy Smith. Moving right along to section 2, ampersand versus concat. Because, the ampersand isn't the only tool in our tool belt when we need to join data. It really helps to look at the two primary methods side by side. On one hand, we have our trusty ampersand formula, linking A2, a space, and B2, just like we talked about. On the other hand, we have the concat function doing the exact same thing. Now notice how concat uses commas to separate the pieces instead of the ampersand symbol? But here's the thing. Both of these methods achieve the exact same result. The ampersand is usually way faster and easier to type out for short, quick formulas, but concat, that can be incredibly convenient when you're trying to join a really large sequence of different values all at once. All right, brace yourselves for section 3, the formatting problem. This is where good data goes bad, and it really introduces the main villain of our explainer. See, everything seems completely fine when you're just joining text to other text, but what exactly happens when numbers get involved? Imagine you have a cell, let's call it B2, containing the number 1250.5. Thanks to Excel's formatting magic, it displays beautifully on your screen as $1,250.50, complete with the dollar sign and the comma. It looks great, right? But look what happens when we try to create a dynamic label using the formula total ampersand B2. The result completely drops the dollar sign. It drops the extra zero at the end. We just get total 1250.5. The big conflict here is that Excel converts that joined number into raw text, and in doing so, it completely strips away all of that pristine currency formatting. Now, if joining a currency drops a dollar sign, it kind of begs a pretty terrifying question. What happens when we try to join a calendar date? You get this, 45,164. I mean, seriously, imagine trying to send out a super professional automated meeting invite, and the date reads 45,164. No way, right? This is pretty much the ultimate spreadsheet gotcha moment. You see, dates in Excel are actually just internal 5-digit serial numbers that have been counting up silently since the year 1900. So when you join an unformatted date with some text, Excel just rips away the human-readable calendar format and exposes that raw serial number underneath. Okay, don't panic. Enter section 4, mastering the text function, because this right here is the ultimate magic weapon that is going to rescue our data and solve this formatting problem once and for all. So the text function basically acts as a crucial translator. It converts a number into formatted text using a really simple syntax. It's just equals text, open parenthesis, the value you want to format, a comma, and then the specific format text you want to apply. The genius of this is that it locks in the formatting before the joining process even happens, so Excel literally can't strip it away. Let's see how this works across a few different types of data. If we want currency, we use the text function and provide the format code $pound, pound 0.00. For a nice, readable date, we can use DDMMMYY, and for time, H:MM/AM/PM. Now, the absolute key takeaway here, and you can't forget this, is that you absolutely must put your specific format codes securely inside those quotation mark containers. If you don't put quotes around the format text, the function will just fail outright. And just look at the incredible results we get when we finally put all of this together. Say we have separate columns for an event, a date, and a start time. By combining our ampersand glue with the text function to lock in those date and time formats, we can generate a flawless, dynamic event announcement. It reads exactly like a human wrote it. Excel workshop on 25 Aug 2026 at 9 a.m. And the best part? If you change the date in your source cell, this entire announcement updates instantly and perfectly. This is exactly how you build really robust, automated, formula-driven announcements for your everyday workflow. All right, finally, Section 5, avoiding common mistakes. Because now that you have the power to create all these awesome dynamic text strings, we really need to make sure you don't fall into the common syntax traps that can break your formulas. There are a couple of foundational traps to watch out for. First up, missing spaces. You have to remember, Excel does exactly what you tell it to do, nothing more. If you just join A2 and B2, they're going to squish together. You have to actively add that space inside quotation marks. The second trap is writing hard-coded text without quotes. You can't just type A2, ampersand, works in, ampersand B2. Excel will throw a huge error because it's going to think works and in are functions or cell names. You always have to wrap your hard-coded text in those quotation mark containers. So the real crucial point to remember is how we handle numbers and dates. If your date mysteriously becomes a raw, weird number, your immediate fix is to wrap it in the text function with a date format. And hey, if your text function isn't working, double-check your format code. A super common mistake is writing the code like dd-mm-yyyy completely without quotes. Remember that format code absolutely must be wrapped in quotation marks inside the text function parentheses. If you miss that step, your dynamic labels will just break. Okay, let's do a really quick wrap-up of what we discovered today. You can use either the ampersand or the CONCAT function to join your values. Always remember to put your spaces, punctuation, and any fixed text inside quotation marks. Keep in mind that joined results instantly become text, which is exactly why your number and date formatting might suddenly vanish during the process. To fight back against that, use the text function to format your numbers, percentages, dates, and times. And finally, always use cell references instead of typing out names or numbers manually. That is the secret sauce that keeps your combined labels entirely dynamic. Think about your daily workflow for a second. Now that you possess this incredibly powerful tool belt and your spreadsheet can quite literally speak in dynamic, perfectly formatted sentences, what manual processes are you going to automate first? Whether it's drafting email templates right there in Excel, building dynamic chart titles, or maybe generating automated invoices, you are now fully equipped to save yourself hours and hours of manual data entry. And hey, if you think simply combining data is powerful, just wait until our next explainer, where we tackle making actual logical decisions with the if function. It's going to be a game changer. Until then, get into your spreadsheets and start joining.